there's not a spot on this record where we're like, so here's where like there's a bit of a vibe switch that helps kind of break it up in the we don't do that. We were just like, yeah, here's 11 tracks of us just going pedal down.
Mike, welcome to Hardcore Dropout.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. So I'm a little curious. I'm confused by the psychoframe geography. So where are you at right now?
So I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and I've
Oh,
lived
no
here
way.
for
Okay.
about 4 years now.
Okay. And it's funny because psychoframe, your guys' handle is psychoframe DC.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I didn't even realize that's deathcore. I was thinking like you guys were from the DC area. Um, but you guys are pretty
Not the
spread
first
out.
time that we've got that because like we've seen people say that on Twitter or
Hmm.
this, that, and the other, and we started the band kind of being a little bit of everywhere,
Hmm.
and we still are a little bit of everywhere. So we were just like, what's our handle, and
Yeah.
Psycho Frame without the DC was already taken by
Hmm.
someone, so we were just like, okay, that's what we are now. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's plenty of people who think we're from DC, but we are not.
Yeah, this whole time I just had DC in my head, but now that, especially now with Coulter in the band, he's Canadian, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So now I've just wrapped my head around like, okay, you guys are just kind of all over the place, huh?
So unbelievably all over the place. So when
Yeah.
we get together for things, it's yeah, everyone flies in to Atlanta. That's home base for us.
Okay.
So that's where we record there. We do everything there. So like I am flying out to Atlanta in just short of 2 weeks from now because then
Okay.
we're gonna prep for our tour.
Okay. And that's the Stick to Your Guns tour?
Yep, stick to your guns, boundaries, gates to hell.
Hell
Us.
yeah. Fucking insane lineup.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be
Yeah.
really good.
That's fucking awesome. So Psycho Frame also started as a side project, right?
Well, it definitely didn't start as something that was meant to be what it is today. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
it was definitely when we were first kind of conceptualizing, it was super side project kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like Hunter was still touring with Mood Ring. I was still touring in my old band Vatican, and we had met through me being in Vatican because Hunter was really good friends with our bass player, and Hunter worked on some tracks on the Vatican record that I did.
Right.
So like we had met when like there was kind of like just strictly a working relationship, but then Hunter and I like still kept up. Like we still played shows together because he used to be playing guitar for that band Body Box
Okay.
from
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah, like played some shows together, stuff like that. Then we started playing games together, and then like as we're just playing games together, doing our thing, like we start talking. Obviously, like we talk like a bunch of music and stuff like that, and we were both like, this is something that we both know a lot about.
Yeah.
And like, we're just kind of going and going, talking about it. And then we were like, what if we made this thing and like kind of just like
Yeah.
made what like we were missing about what we were hearing from the genre at the time.
Hmm.
And yeah,
So
then
so
then I ended up here on this
what were
podcast.
yeah, here we are now. An album coming out, full tours like stacking up. It's pretty wild to see the trajectory of it. What were what were some of the bands and like albums you guys were throwing around when you were talking about what you wanted to write?
So when we were getting in, like one of the things that we had talked about like before we even really started writing is how a lot, not all, but a lot of modern deathcore today, especially when it's coming from like people that are younger than us,
Hmm.
they're like, and I could be wrong, right? I don't know everybody. I don't know where they're all pulling from, but the
Hmm.
vibe is that generally like deathcore today is inspired by the deathcore of yesterday. or just like whatever's like pretty current now, whatever. When deathcore was a thing that was being like spearheaded and like kind of created as a genre by,
Yeah.
like Despised Icon, Suicide Silence, go down the list, right?
Yeah.
They don't have anyone to pull from. So what are they pulling from? And
Yeah.
we already kind of knew the answer to that. So we said, we're going to do the same thing. So we're pulling from death metal, slam, and hardcore.
Yeah.
And in bands of those times, like what are they doing back then? Also, what a lot of them are doing now, because a lot of them still exist and are still badass and never stop being good.
Yeah.
So like, I say a lot that the band starts at Dying Fetus, like, and then
Yeah.
goes from there. Like when on our first EP, that song Dragging Nazarene, that's just Fetus, brother. That's
Yeah.
all that is, Like,
100%.
like if you reskin that song and put John on vocals or something, I'm like they could have just turned that into a Fetus song if they really wanted to. So
Absolutely.
that's where we start usually.
Yeah, 100%. Makes sense, because when I listen to you guys, of course, there's the Dying Fetus stuff, and then there's also, like peak, like early Suicide Silence, like the Suicide Silence EP and stuff. There's that in there, and then also another thing I love that you guys do is you have some of the like Beneath the Massacre, like video game type riffs,
Oh yeah,
and it's such a cool concoction of, like you said, that pioneering era of deathcore where it was totally new. You know what I mean?
absolutely. And when people give us like the Beneath the Massacre vibe too, that's another one. Like that,
Yeah.
that's another band that we love and respect a lot. And so when people make that connection, I'm like, thank God you get it, because that is
Yeah.
something like that we're trying to pull from too.
Yeah. Well, I started going to shows in 2005, and then caught it right as the MySpace boom just started happening, and so I feel really lucky. I lived through like the pioneering of a full genre. Like I saw Job for a Cowboy before Doom was even out. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's nuts.
Dude, it was awesome. So my older brother is 8 years older than me. He was booking a lot of shows, taking me to shows and stuff. So I was 12 years old the first time I saw Job for a Cowboy. And like,
That's badass.
dude, it was one of the coolest things ever. And I remember walking away from that show. And at the time, all this music was crazy to me. But for everyone around me who had been in the scene for a while and they were older than me, even they were all like, what the fuck did we just hear? Because no one had ever heard that mixture of sounds before,
Yeah. And so yeah, I'm taking it you're just a little bit older than me, because I started going to shows in like 07, 08.
Okay.
So
Yep.
yeah. And I've been in the Midwest my whole life. So
Okay.
a lot of those bands, like, they didn't come from where I lived. I'm from the Indianapolis area. And
Yeah.
so they're the only band that especially still exists to this day that was from Indy that was doing stuff like that. Hey, girl. Sorry.
All
No
good.
more. So from the Indy area, the band that I would herald today is kind of like the hometown hero, because they're still around, still doing it, and they're awesome, but they are not what they used to be, is the Contortionist. Because when I
okay.
was growing up and going to shows, the Contortionist was the band that would open whatever big tour is coming through, and
Yeah.
they're playing the Emerson Theater or something. So my first big show, like bigger tour that I went to, the Contortionist opened that, and it
Okay.
was like the Contortionist, the Ghost Inside, Terror, Winds of Plague, All Shall Perish, and Amir.
Damn. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. So, and also like the band like kind of operates like, when it comes to our tastes and like the kind of things that we wanted to do, I reference this show a lot, because that show, like, yeah, you have All Shall Perish, Amir, Winds of Plague, that whole thing. But when I went to that show, I didn't know I was going to see Terror for the
Yeah.
first time or what they were. And so Terror was my first hardcore band. And so when we think of like those kinds of things today, that doesn't happen a lot. Like
Yeah.
very seldom does like a band from this space kind of be able to operate like within like multiple different circles and it still
Yeah.
translates super well. So that's something that like we're always wanting to do. And like
Yeah.
when the day comes that Psycho Frame should ever do like some headlining stuff, we plan on trying to pull things like that off, you know?
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, we
Yeah,
did
I
not
think-
have Job for a Cowboy near us or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, dude, I trust me. I count my blessings all the time when I think back on the shows I got to see because between I was in the San Diego area, so all these tours are coming through from like LA to Arizona or anywhere in Southern California, really. There were just so many tours going through that little area, and my brother was just taking me to all these shows. And yeah, that Suicide Silence era, the Job for a Cowboy era, I saw Also Perish a ton. I saw them in Mexico, like just saw so much cool shit in Southern California, and I'd consider myself super lucky for that because it's a
Yeah.
special era.
You are.
Yeah.
That's that's definitely not lost on me. I'm like, man, I wish I could see that shit. But
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. But it's cool that you touch on like the hardcore aspect also because something I agree like lineups aren't as diverse as they used to be because it used to be like these massive tour packages just to get 300 kids in a room. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But something that's cool about Psycho Frame is as I've been listening to you guys more and more, I'm like, it's already been proven by the tours you guys are on. Like, yeah, you can fit in with a dying fetus, but you can also go open for boundaries and stick to your guns. And I think people are still gonna fuck with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the hope, right? And like even with that lineup, it's like, dude, all these bands are awesome live, and like,
Yeah,
they're like they're doing their own thing, and like I don't know, it's just like whenever we got that offer, we were like, this is actually exciting to us. Like this is what I would want to see, you know?
yeah,
So that's like that's the hope going forward, and like you know we have another tour this year in Europe that is like very much the same vibe where like it's kind of a mix and everyone's doing their own thing.
yeah,
And I'd love to keep that up. You know, we're talking 2026 right now and everything, but we'll see what happens.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys are definitely sitting in a really cool little pocket of your own right now where it seems like you got a lot of respect from all the different little subgenres within heavy music, you know? So I'm curious about the early EPs. There's like a really raw and gritty quality to the sound also. Was that something intentional that you guys were going for to harken back to some of the older stuff?
Totally. I mean, like first EP, Remote Godseeker, like that's exactly what we're doing. And you know, we mix that all in house. You know, our friend Brandon, he's been working alongside Hunter for a good couple of years now.
Okay.
And he does a lot of the mixing work that comes out of their studio. So we were just again, like, you know, we started the band, like we didn't know how serious it was going to be,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So we were just like, we're just doing the whole thing in house. We're going to record it all, you know, at Hunter's studio. We'll mix it in there, that whole thing. And we did exactly what we wanted with
Fuck
that
yeah.
EP. And like it came out sounding awesome, super cool. And like, I mean, yeah, and like people latched on to that EP way harder and faster than I expected that they would.
Yeah.
So we knew that we wanted to do more music. We wanted to, you know, just kind of keep it going. We didn't feel like we had fully achieved the thing that we set out to do.
Yeah.
So we were just like, okay, 2 releases in a single year, and then moved on to the second EP. But the difference with the second EP is that our friend Austin Coop mixed it. And
Okay.
he's a close friend. He's worked with, you know, Hunter and Brandon a lot. prior and today.
Okay.
So we were just like, yeah, we'll have Austin mix it. He did some production on it, stuff like that. So we were like, it's still in the family's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted something that felt like it came from those days, and then going into our new record, it felt more so like we were like, okay, we're kind of trying to make this like still be able to feel this kind of way, but also we want it to evolve and
Hmm.
sound like we want it to sound good. We want it to, not that what we did sounded, not good before, but we decided to take a little bit more of a modern approach to like the mix and how like aesthetically the thing,
Yeah.
presents itself. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
trying.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely there, and it's again, this is why I think you guys are in such a cool spot right now, is you appeal to a lot of different audiences because it does appeal to deathcore, but the gritty quality of it is like just super. It feels very death metal in terms of the production. You know?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's where we start,
Yeah.
like that is something that we hope comes across, and it seems like it is, right? Like that seems
Hmm.
to be the general consensus. So I think, we did it when it comes to that. So
Yeah.
that makes me happy that that's not lost on people.
No, yeah, it's definitely there. I remember when I first heard Remote Death Seeker, I think I tweeted, "This makes me want to run through a brick wall," because like it's just so. I mean, it's just so aggressive, and it's like a tidal wave of just like insanity, frankly.
Yeah, yeah. That's I mean that's the MO,
Yeah.
like we wanted to be something that was like pretty unrelenting, uh
Hmm.
also like pretty ambitious in technicality, which is like where a lot of the Beneath the Massacre like
Yeah.
references come from. And we were just like, yeah, I don't know, we just don't want it to stop. Like we want it to be exciting, we want it to be moshable and fun,
Hmm.
and that's it. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
simple. Like at the end of
Yeah.
the day, like
Hmm.
um, there's not there isn't some like insane thought process to get where we end up at the end of a release or anything like that. So we're just trying to figure out ways to do that better every time it comes, writing time.
Yeah. Just keep polishing like what you've already created, right?
Yeah, what works, what doesn't, what came across the way we intended, what maybe fell a little flat, things
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah. Makes sense. Were both those EPs? Did you guys self-release those?
Yeah,
Wow, that's fucking awesome.
yeah. So we self-released the first two EPs. We did vinyl through Wax Vessel,
Okay.
just because I mean, like the the structure of how that thing works. We were like, okay, I mean that's an easy way to get vinyl
Yeah.
in people's hands if they want them, stuff like that. So
Hmm.
we were like, we'll do that, whatever. We'll see how that goes. And it went really well. And
Fuck yeah.
so, and at the time, like even whenever we put up when we put out the first EP, we had already like gotten some attention, more than I thought. Um, Sharptone had already approached the band after the first
Wow.
EP came out, but again, we weren't really trying to take this thing seriously. Like we just wanted to make this thing, and so we were like, nah, we're just gonna put out our second EP ourselves, like
Hmm.
whatever, like, and we'll get ready to play some shows in 2024, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we kind of get through most of the shows that we played in 2024. Sharptone came back, and at that point we were like, okay, I think we're hungry for the band. Like this is all like pretty good timing, and
Yeah.
and it all just worked out. So after the second EP, everything's been Sharptone so far.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Were there any moments that stand out in hindsight where you realized, oh, we're going to take this a little more seriously?
Dying Fetus. When we played with Dying Fetus, specifically the very first show at the Black Sheep in Colorado Springs,
Okay.
The second that we started our set, the room kind of immediately opened up, and participation was abound.
Yeah.
And we were really nervous going into that tour just because, like, we're opening for Dying Fetus, which is when we started the band, the thing that we were like, if this band ever got to play with Dying Fetus, that was probably like a cool end goal.
Yeah.
And it was Dying Fetus was the first offer this band ever got.
What the fuck? Wow.
So we did this Fight and Body Snatcher tour right before that.
Okay.
And by do that tour, I mean we played a week of it. And then we did Dying Fetus immediately after. But Dying Fetus was the first one to show up in our email box. It was just the timing, worked out where we could do both, and one was happening before the other. So going into that first show, and it kind of just popped off, and everything was translating, and everything felt good.
Yeah.
That's when everyone in the band was like, damn, this is really fucking cool, and I want to keep it pushing.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome. Did you get any cosign or support from Dying Fetus himself?
I've been saying to this day that Trey Williams, their drummer, is our guitar player Dave's dad, because we hung out with Trey like quite a bit for those. I mean, we weren't with them long, we were with them for a week total, and yeah, I mean, like, it was really cool touring with them. They were good to us, and so I had a moment on the tour when I think we were at the second to last show, or third to last show. So we're like at, our halfway point of being with them, and I was in the back, and I was hanging out with Trey in their green room, and he and I are just shooting the shit. We're just chopping it up. And at one point he was like, would you like to drink some tequila with me? And I was like, oh, brother, I don't drink anymore. Like, some years ago, this is like a dream of mine, but you're going to have to offer it to the other guys. And Dave just showed up right then and there. And Trey looked at him and was like, my man. And, and like, that stuff was cool. Like that was a really cool moment for me. I know it was a cool moment for everybody else, but yeah, like, they, again, like, it's the only thing that we wanted from the band as soon as we started it. And then to kind of pull it off first thing and be like, okay, so that went really well. And we did the thing that we set out to do. Man, we could keep going, and we could like really do it for real. Yeah. And so we were like, okay, 2025, we're doing it for real, because after the Dying Fetus thing, like, we played the release weekend for Knock Loose's most recent record, and that went over really well. It was awesome. And then we played New England Metal and Hardcore Fest. Awesome. On paper, everything went wrong and should have been bad, because when we showed up, you can never plan for these things. Torrential downpour.
Fuck.
And the stage that we're playing is outside in the parking lot.
Fuck. Okay.
And we're opening the stage. So when we get there, dude, they've got the squeegees out, like, shoving water off stage. The generator died.
Oh my God. Fuck.
And the whole thing was just it was rough. But
yeah.
And 5 minutes before you play, there's already bands that are playing inside, whether it's the upstairs room or the downstairs. I think at that time only the upstairs room was active, because we're at the beginning of the day,
Yeah.
But my thought is, I'm like, dude, it is torrential downpour. Like, this sucks. Everyone's inside. Are people gonna come out here and watch us? We're the opening. We're the opening band on this stage. Like, who gives a shit, right? And like, we've never been to the Northeast, or anything with the band. So we were like, this could just be a botch, like whatever. Like
Yeah.
maybe we play and it's not a big deal. 2 minutes before our set starts, I see all these people walk out from inside and
Fuck
come
yes.
and like, so there's a stage directly across from where we are, and there's people watching this band, right?
Yeah.
And like decent crowd, right? Like I'm like, there's a decent amount of people out here, bearing the storm and everything. But then when it came time for our set to start, it was like, oh, there's the motherfuckers are here kind of
Yeah.
thing. And
Fuck yeah.
keep in mind, the generator's dead. So we hit what's supposed to be our start time. They get the generator back up. And Scott Lee looks at me because he's on this stage trying to help people, figure out what's going on. He looks at me. He goes, "You have no monitors, and you need to go now."
Oh my God. Holy shit.
So
Wow.
we flew blind for over half of our set,
Yeah.
and just played and did it. And we were like, "Whatever's happening out there is what's happening out there," because
Yeah.
everyone up here is just playing the song.
Yeah.
And
it's like a DIY show on a big stage though, or something.
yeah, like we got nothing. We don't have like in-ears or anything, so like everyone's just following drums and hoping for the best. And then
Yeah.
the videos came out good. So
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
That's the thing, man, is there's always going to be proof of what happened nowadays. Someone's always filming.
Yeah, there's always someone who's got, a clip of something on YouTube or something like that. But
Yeah.
it went over really well. And again, our first time ever as a band in the region, and it went as well as it did. This is just after we did, some short runs of shows before this. And we were like, well, again, just like more proof to concept that like,
Yeah.
we can do this thing. Like people are excited about this band. And
100%.
While we may not have been as like ambitious and like thinking we could do something with this from conception, like here we are today getting ready to put out a full length, and we're like, oh no, this band tours for real now.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Man, I can totally relate because even with Hardcore Dropout, maybe a month, like 4 to 6 weeks ago, I interviewed Roger from the Warriors, and the Warriors are huge for me. I had the same exact situation where I bought one little extra piece for my setup here, and I did a test run before the podcast, and I was like, cool, it's all good. I get on, and like everything falls to shit.
Yep.
And I'm like, fuck, man, Roger's got a kid. He's like taking time out of his day, and he was super understanding. We get done with the interview. It's awesome. And then he texts me afterwards and was like, dude, that was the best interview I've done for the Warriors ever. And I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should keep at this.
Yeah. Like the thing is like shit does go wrong. Like whether it's this kind of setting, a show setting, whatever, like, I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, like if you're doing a thing that like you are just doing it for love of the game,
Yeah.
and like it kind of just grows on its own, whether it's out of your hands or not.
Yeah.
Like good things do come from it, and like this band is all love of the game. Like
Yeah.
We didn't have a motive going into it. We just wanted to make a thing because that's what we wanted to do, and people latched onto it, and that's a tale as old as time itself. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, consistency and just, like you said, doing it for the love of it, eventually something's going to happen.
yeah, and I've been around for a while. Obviously you've been around for a minute too. So like, I don't know, man. Things just happen,
Yeah.
And now I'm 32.
Yeah.
And I'm back in the van.
Fuck yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. So you mentioned Sharptone was already kind of expressing interest as early as the first EP, but then you guys start having all these moments where you realize you want to take it bigger. How did the Sharptone deal materialize once you realized we're going to go hard?
I was surprised that they came back after we kind of ghosted them because like we really let that run dry because like we knew the option was there, but like we already had like a successful first self release and we were still resistant to the idea of the band being like a real touring entity. And so we were like, nah, let's just put it out ourselves. Like if we could replicate what we did the first time, then like the band can make like a little bit of money. It's more music
Yeah.
for the people that care, you know, stuff like that. Whatever. And then that second release went over better than the first one, and more eyes were on the band. And we were like, okay, well, we're gearing up for shows, stuff like that. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Like we were very cautious going into it. So when Sharptone had approached that first time and we came to that conclusion, we just kind of let it run dry and whatever. So when they came back, I was a little surprised to see that they were still interested because
Yeah.
in my experience, like when it comes to labels, this, that, and the other, especially when like you're younger and you're like, I want my band to get signed and I want my
Yeah.
band to do this, that, and the other, like because like you kind of get lost in those things and like hoping for the success of it all, especially when you're broke. And like now that I'm further into adulthood, I don't care about those things. And was like kind of convinced that like I wasn't really gonna go for it anymore. And then the second I stopped caring about it, all of a sudden those doors open.
Yep.
Like you know, funny life is a funny thing, you know. But
Yeah.
so yeah, they came back and we were just like, yeah, I mean, we could do that. Like, I'm pretty sure we had a couple other like things reach out to us wanting to do something, but we just didn't feel like it was for us, you know, stuff like that. Sharptone had a deal that we thought was like also like pretty in line with like what we thought like the lifespan of the band was at the time.
Yeah.
You know, because in a way, like we were talking to Sharptone, being like, "You shouldn't do this. You should not be interested in this band. Like, we don't want to go do this thing." You know, and I remember they were like, "Look, man, we survived the COVID era. Like, we know how to put a record out for a band that can't be on the road or this, that, and the other."
Yeah.
Like, we were trying to talk them out of being interested in us, and then lo and behold, we turned around and we're just like, no, we're gonna be a band for real. And they're like, wonderful, thank you, that's great.
Fuck
Let's do
yes.
it.
Yeah.
And that, and like it just kind of like it lined up with where we saw the band going and like what we wanted to do. So yeah, and they've been very good to us, very nice to us. And
Yeah.
like I don't know, that's all you can ask for, right? Is, you know, because what bands, especially when you're younger, and I've, you know, fallen into this mistake as well. Bands, you know, don't, I think enough about like how much a label will service you in the end, and like how much like love and effort a label can, will, or won't put into you. And at the end of the day, that's not their fault entirely either. But like good bands, you know, kind of get skinned over by the general population all the time. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I've been in that place and, you know, been in a situation more than once where I'm like, oh man, I thought being on a label and being like in a I made it situation would work, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And again, I was just like, none of this means anything. So when we first started getting approached, I was like, I don't care about any of that. You know,
Yeah.
like we're putting this out ourselves and it's going better historically than it ever has for something I've been a part of. So like,
Yeah.
I don't need any of that. And then once we started putting out our first stuff with Sharptone, it actually did like help the band grow quite a bit,
Hmm.
because now we're getting ready to put out this record, and these numbers don't actually mean anything to me. I could give a shit about these or anybody else's numbers, but when you start looking at like view counts and like streaming numbers and
Yeah.
stuff, and you see that start to have an uptick than what you were previously used to for your band or whatever you're doing, like that's cool and it feels good and
Hmm.
like that's great, but also it translated when we started going out and playing more.
Yeah. That's
And
fucking
that and
cool.
that is the place where those things matter to me. When I show up to places I've never been to, um, and people are like, I came here specifically for you guys, like this, that, and the other, or I've been so excited to see you guys, like I haven't had the chance to yet,
Hmm.
things like that. That's where it counts.
Yeah.
And those people will, tell the story of how they found the band and stuff like that. And a lot of them start when we started putting out things with Sharptone. So there's
Yeah.
still plenty of people that haven't had the chance, or it just something just hasn't come across to them. Yeah, like people are still finding out about the band, and
Yeah.
so we're still like in a really exciting time because the band is young,
Hmm.
and we know that there's still plenty of people that we haven't reached yet,
Yeah.
and that's the game.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're in a really healthy spot with it where, like you said, you're doing it for the love of the game. You could care if it gets to 100,000 people or if it gets to 5,000 people. So your head is in a good spot with it, but now Sharptone comes in and it just gives you that extra bump where this, I would imagine, it feels like bonus points, right?
A lot like that because again, like also keep in mind like we're a deathcore band, like it's
Hmm.
not for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
um
100%.
like the band is intense, we're fast, unrelenting, the whole
Hmm.
thing, and there's plenty of people that could give a shit about the genre as a whole anyways. Like they're like I want nothing from that,
Yeah.
and like that means us too, right?
Hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, I don't care or mind, those kinds of things. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It just seems like there's still just room for things to go to other places, and I
Yeah.
want to explore that, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
And so now the only thing we can do is just do what we think is exciting and try and get in rooms where we think it like makes the most sense for us, or like
Hmm.
can be like you know a, a thing to reach new people, stuff like that, or at the end of the day just make the people that are into it happy
Yeah.
and kind
Absolutely.
of just like service that, and just again, the band is young, it has not gone out and played a lot,
Hmm.
so I want to give that to people, and
Hmm.
I hope that they have a good time with it and are, just stoked to be there while this thing exists.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys are doing something right because I went on the Sharptone site and all the pre-orders are sold out. I saw you just broke 100K on Spotify. Like, clearly the arrow is pointed up for you guys right now.
Yeah. And um, so, like, everything selling out, I was not expecting that
Hmm.
because when you're self releasing, the smartest thing to do is be like, there's not a whole bunch because it's really expensive to
Yeah.
do all of this, especially when you're starting from nothing.
Hmm.
That's the other good part of having a label is those things just happen for you.
Yeah.
But going into prepping this release and everything, of course, I see all these vinyl variants, CDs, tapes, stuff like that. And I know there's a lot more of that than we would have ever chosen to pick ourselves. So the fact that now
Yeah.
that that's all gone, I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Like people, people want this thing. And like, again, that's exciting. Like, I'm, and I love that all of that is gone because I wanted to reach as many people as it can. And I want people also that want the thing to be able to have the thing. So I'm glad that like things are going that way. And now we're in, a pressing for, a second pressing of the vinyl with, new variant, stuff like that.
Fuck yeah.
So we're just, like it's really cool. And
Yeah.
those things like definitely kind of put the whole thing into perspective. And me and the rest of the guys are just like, okay, we got to go do this thing and like do it really good. And that's what we intend on doing.
Fuck yeah. Well, speaking of doing it really good, I fortunately got to listen to an early copy of the new album. It is really, really fucking good.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I was genuinely like you said, deathcore is not for everyone, and I do love it. But a full length is hard to accomplish, like front to back, an enjoyable listen when you're talking about such a brutal style of music. Oh, fucking Siri every time.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Siri agrees with it. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, man.
We're so back.
We are so back. Hell yeah. Cool. Yeah, the new album, man. Fucking phenomenal. And I'm just curious what your guys' intentions were heading into it now that you have, rather than EP, you're looking at, 10, 11 songs, you're staring at making a full length.
It's a tough thing to do. And I don't think that is exclusive to a genre. I mean, like, a full length to me personally is it's your flag in the moon.
Yeah.
It's the thing. You're like, this is my body of work, especially your first one.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that, we were just like, yeah, we're going to do some EPs before this, because, dude, we even presented the idea of our first releases on Sharptone still being EPs because, like, you worry about things like the listener's attention span, stuff like that. And the biggest challenge there is that is self-imposed challenges because like you can make an amazing album front to back, right?
Yeah.
And like then you're like in your head thinking, does everybody even want to listen to this? Or are they just gonna listen to the first 4 songs or something like that? Like every single person that makes a thing faces that challenge. But Sharptone was like, no, we're doing the LP. Like we're doing an album. And we spent a lot of time on it. Like we were starting the writing process for the album in early 2024.
Okay.
So there's been a lot of songs that have come and gone in the inbox, and I remember listening to the demo version of Black Wave 2 in spring of 2024. So
Damn.
which like that, ended up being different. Like some things changed before the final product and everything. But I remember that demo. I remember the demo for songs that came out on Feed, the double single thing that we did.
Yeah.
That was all part of the same, big writing process. So even going into Feed, like those 2 songs, those were songs that were written like quote unquote for the album.
Yeah.
But they're not on the album because I and I think everybody else were like, look, we're not going to cop out and put out a 2-song thing and then release like 2 to 3 more singles before the album like drops, and then it's like, oh, they've already released half the album. Now we only have like 5 new songs actually.
Yeah.
So
thank you for not doing that, because that drives me crazy. I get the era where
it kills me.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, you and I are of the age where it's like I miss being excited for a full album.
Yeah, I want new mini song. I want more songs from the thing that I like. So like And there's like, dude, there's artists I love that do that, and like, yeah, it drives me crazy, whatever. Like, so I'm a really big John Mayer fan.
Okay.
Be that, if that gives me a red flag, like whatever. But like, I love John Mayer,
I can hear
for
the
better or
influence.
worse. Yeah, totally. It comes across right. But on his latest record, Sob Rock, I was bummed because straight up half the record is singles that had been released over the course of like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like that, it would be like, oh, here's a single drop, and like it dropped in like 2017 or
Yeah.
something, and
God damn.
then it ended up on the 2021 record.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
the
whack.
story with like 4 or 5 tracks on that record. And I was just like, dude, fuck me, man. Like, I just like, and I follow him closely enough to know that like he had scrapped an entire record and then came out with Sob Rock. And I'm just like, where's that? I
Yeah.
want that. Like,
100%.
am I being like gluttonous? Sure, I guess. Like, because at the end of the day, like, I respect that people put out the thing that they want to or whatever. But again, I'm gluttonous in this way. I want those songs.
A 1,000%. Yeah.
And I refuse to have that be the experience of my band. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, going back into the thing about making this, we were nervous because we wanted to make a thing that we thought was good from start to finish. And again, the band is unrelenting. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a spot on this record where we're like, so here's where like there's a bit of a vibe switch that helps kind of break it up in the we don't do that.
100%. Yeah.
We were just like, yeah, here's 11 tracks of us just going, like pedal down, like just
Yeah.
doing it.
Full sicko
And-
mode.
Yeah, totally. And so even when it came to tracking all the vocals and everything, we're in the studio just hammering away at this thing, tracking all the vocals, and which is a big group effort. When we're doing this, everyone's in the room.
Yeah.
So everyone's got a say on what's happening here and what ends up being the final thing. But we didn't have the track listing sorted by the time that we had finished being
Okay.
like, okay, we have tracked everything that will be on this album. How does this thing go?
Yeah.
Like, how does it
Yeah.
flow? What is track one?
Yeah.
So despite being nervous about it, and all of us wondering if this is something that people are going to want at the end of the day, and shit, do I even want it? To be this whole big thing, this big collection of music. I'm really happy with how the whole thing came out, and like I'm happy with our sequencing. I'm happy with pretty much the whole thing, and that thing that we set out to do when we started the band and make the thing that we thought we were missing from the genre and what we wanted to hear. This is what I wanted to hear, was this album.
1,000%.
And so if I were in 07, 08, whatever, and I'm young me, and I'm just getting into this kind of music, whether it's deathcore, hardcore, metalcore, whatever, this is the album I would have wanted. And I'm happy with that. And I can only hope that, again, it translates. I keep saying that, right? Like,
Yeah.
But I can only hope that it translates. But the singles have done well. So I'm just like, I hope you guys really like that, because like the whole album feels like this.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was made for people who want a spin kick. And
Yep.
made for people who have been knocked out by a random person before.
1,000%, man. Yeah, it makes me, like I said, it makes you want to run through a brick wall. It makes me want to cause violence. Like, I always joke about this with my close friends or my partner. Like, there's certain albums that I'm like, oh, if I ever had to fuck someone up because they fucked with someone I love, I know the albums I would want to listen to get pumped up to it, and this is one of those albums.
So at my last so I quit my job to do this band, right?
Fuck yes.
But my last job that I loved, when I was working this job when I'm starting the band and going through the motions of the whole every shit that we just talked about, right?
Yeah.
And my boss, I worked with a lot of people who were ex-military.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know, circumstance, right? But like my boss was ex-army, and he did some scary shit when he was in the army.
Yeah.
But I showed him the band because like he and I connected on music in my first interview with him, kind of thing.
Oh, wild.
So
Fuck yeah.
like he and I were like on, like we liked the same things.
Yeah.
So when I was like, yeah, I started this band, blah blah blah, and I showed it to him, he was like, this is what me and my buddies would listen to when it was time for us to go do our thing.
Holy shit.
And then he was like, I'm showing all my friends this, yada
Fuck
yada.
yes.
And so like that it is murder music.
Yeah, straight up. I'm so glad you can say that, because I try and explain that to friends who aren't into heavy music, and I'm like, it's not like I'm actually plotting a murder, but like I still like the sensation of like, this is violent, it's heavy, it makes me want to do
This
really
is as
awful
close
things.
as I get to doing it.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, so I'm totally here for it. If I have to harm someone and I hear Psycho Frame right before I do it, I'm gonna be in the right headspace.
For sure. That's kind of the thing, right? Like we wanted murder music. We wanted shit that elicits a response and like elicits participation when we play. That's the end goal. Like that's
Yeah.
all I want is participation for the band and everything. And again, I'm very happy with where the record ended up and the thing that we made.
Fuck yeah.
Now it's up to the people, right? It's up to the people to do their thing, whether they like it or not. And now I'm going to go play those songs.
Yeah.
And hope that we get that participation that we're asking for.
100%. Yeah. Are there any songs on the new album that stick out to you as like, oh, those are the ones where you're excited to play live, you can't wait for people to hear them?
Out of the singles, I'm most excited to play the first track on the record, Blueprints. I'm very excited to play that one. Non-singles, man, I've got a couple answers.
I love it.
Because so like I love the deep cuts, the non-singles on this record a lot. And I fought for all of them to be singles. So like I'm being very biased. But I have three answers. I have God is Busy, which is track 8. I've got Agonal Devotion, which is track 5. And then I've said this a couple times, but it is low-key kind of my favorite song on the record, but track 6, Apocalypse Through Lysergic Possession.
Yep.
I think those are all some standouts. I think the last track is a very good standout. I think the 7th track, I Won't Be There to Watch You Go, goes crazy. Filleted and Fucked. What are we talking about? That song rocks.
Straight up.
I legitimately hope to be able to play all of these songs.
Fuck yeah.
Like I would, if someone was like, hey, this is what you're doing, my reaction would be run it.
Yeah.
Like I do love all of these songs, and I think they're all spin kick worthy. I think they're all doing the thing that I want it to do, and they're also all from that. They're informed by the learning experience of what we didn't find worked before.
Yeah.
Because on the first two EPs, like we haven't played all of those songs live.
Hmm.
A lot of that is, based on data, streaming numbers, whatever.
Yeah.
But also we're like looking and seeing like what people talk about when it
Yeah.
comes to the band, and they don't talk about those songs.
Hmm.
And when I listen and kind of just like put myself in other people's shoes, this, that, and the other, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like I can see how this didn't actually work out
Resonate.
as well. Like it just didn't resonate with people as much. And yeah, I think that we've learned from those things. So now on the first album, it's like we know what this is supposed to actually be.
Yeah.
Because if we took the first two EPs and just said that was, we combine them and say this would have been the first Psycho Frame album, I think we really only walk away with like 6 or 7 songs that have staying power, like or power. Their staying power that just like that'll stand the test of time with these people. They'll like it, and then the other essentially like half of the record would kind of be whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the songs
Absolutely.
people are like, yeah, we got that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys have really just like built on what you were already doing, and it's kind of like this slow burn. I guess realistically not even that slow of a burn. You guys have really, your popularity has really like soared a bit. But musically, where you guys are like, hey, we're just writing what we want to write, we're really just going to focus on that, has really paid off because yeah, all 11 tracks on this thing fucking slap, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so glad you listed those tracks in particular, because when I was listening to it yesterday, I was at work, and both on Endless Agonal Devotion and then Apocalypse Through Lysergic Possession, both of those I had to stop and go look at the song titles because I was like, I have to remember those ones because those are insane.
Yeah, those are two of my favorites. Like
Yeah,
that 2-song run. I mean, like there's a single like right before that one too, right? Which like we chose it because we liked it and we thought it would be a good single, I guess.
Yeah.
But like there's like a run from Endless Agonal to like track like 5 to I'll say 9. Like there's
Yeah.
something about that little block of space that I'm like, I love these songs. Like,
Absolutely.
I love them.
yeah,
And I love the last 2 as well. They're great. But those 2 feel like I turn those songs on. I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's about to be done. Like
Yeah.
the record's about to be over kind of thing.
yeah. I have a feeling those are going to be the ones that really grab people's attention because, again, you're in the middle of the record and it pulls you back in, and you're like, man, these are absolute ass beaters, and like you said, they're unrelenting.
Yeah, they are. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But you guys, not even just kissing ass. I really think you guys have done something special on this album, like front to back. I did not think I could enjoy such aggressive deathcore all the way through for 11 tracks.
I appreciate that, and again, I hope it translates because we put a lot of work and a lot of thought into this thing. For it to be what ends up being on print.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a really good record by my estimation. I think we did what we set out to do. And if people liked what we were doing from the beginning, in my eyes, they should like this record that much more for it. So.
Yeah, 100%. I think so. Well, man, got to wrap up here soon. I unfortunately got to go back to my day job after this. But there's a topic I think you and I share a common opinion on, and that's our disdain for whisper vocals. You want to talk about that real quick?
Look, man, like I would never say that like I'm an amazing vocalist or like my shit don't stink or whatever.
You're doing pretty good though.
I appreciate that. A lot of work to hit this point, and I still think I have a lot of room to grow. But I did not get into this music to find out that someone was on stage quiet as hell, just like, I don't know, not aggressively doing the aggressive music.
Yeah.
And like, there are plenty of vocalists that like on paper, like, yes, you are amazing. Like you're doing something that I can do or choose to not figure out how to do, whatever that interpretation ends up being. But like,
Yeah.
I really hate that. I really hate the idea of someone cheating their way through this.
Yeah.
And like, also there's like, you lose a bit of a human element whenever you get like technique doubt about this thing. And like, and there are singers that like I noticed when they became like techniqued out
Yeah.
and they changed, and then they kind of in a way, it's kind of like you start falling in line with what you're supposed to sound like or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, I don't really think I'm on board anymore,
Yeah.
And then you have other singers who don't do that. They stay aggressive in the thing that they're doing and like putting their whole ass into it, and like
Yes.
have such a
Yep.
human, like distinct sound to them that like makes them stand out amongst the crowd, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that I latch on to.
Yeah.
Like,
Who are
we
some
could
of those
talk
vocalists?
Corpse Grinder. I mean, like, man, he never stopped. The band never stopped being good. They have not put out a bad record.
Yeah,
So,
truly.
Like, so I got into them when I was in like my sophomore or junior year. I'm just getting into music like for real in high school.
Yeah.
I liked music in middle school and before, but like high school, I was like, hang on a fucking second, And
Yeah.
so I was getting into them around the time Evisceration Plague was coming out.
Okay.
So like, then I had to go back and, look at old records, stuff like that. But from that point on, it's just like, me personally, I'm like, I just think this band actually continuing to get better. Like, and I think Corpse Grinder sounds better
Yeah.
than he ever has.
Yeah.
And bro, he's not stopping. He's
Not
not
at all.
stopping for anybody, and he's the GOAT, Who are some other singers? Everyone on this tour we're about to go do, like,
Yeah.
all of these singers for Boundaries, Stick to Your Guns, and Gades, like, they're doing this shit for real.
Yeah.
Look, I'll just say it. Like, deathcore is like the biggest offender. Like, when
Yeah.
when it comes to this, like, there's a lot of offenders in this genre. It's not everybody. There's plenty of people who are like just great vocalists.
Yeah.
And whether I like their band or not, to be honest, like, there's some really, really fucking good ones. But that's not what we wanted for us, and that's not what we do. Because again, I just want to maintain that distinct human element of what this band is doing, but also what the singers are doing.
Yeah.
And I refuse to compromise on that. And like, I can tell when I'm listening to another band, I'm like, I can tell what you got going on. I've been doing this enough and for enough time to know that, I'm like, you're kind of just, cheating your way out of this a little bit.
Yeah.
And falling in line and being like a techniqued out person or whatever. And I hear you whispering. I hear you, barely being louder than how I'm speaking, like,
100%.
in this moment, so.
Yeah.
And I'm not rocking with it. Personal vibe, those. But here's the thing, that's just my personal vibe. Those people do fine on their own, and and there's a million people who don't care about that, but I do. And I'm looking always for someone who has like their own distinct thing that they're doing, and that's what I can always appreciate. And it's one of those things like when you hear somebody, what a feature on somebody else's track is actually one of the best tells, and like maybe you didn't know that they were a feature on it at all, and then they come on and you immediately know who it is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In screaming music, like that's a tough thing to pull off on its own.
Yeah.
But to like be able to develop that and like I don't know, just kind of have your own thing where you can be picked out from the crowd, like that's what matters. And to me, there's no path of getting there that doesn't involve actually doing this aggressively.
Yeah, 100%. Man, I hard agree on all of that because like I said at the beginning, having grown up when Suicide Silence was just getting big, like there was a time where I was at a Suicide Silence show, small venue, about 200 people. I was like backstage, as in it was a very DIY venue. I was just hanging out behind all the backline and stuff. Mitch walks in for their set, and his warm-up was just like to get a few screams out, you know? And dude, the volume of his screaming, I will never fucking forget. He just did a few lows.
Loud.
He did it. Yeah. And I was like, dude, you could hold the mic a foot away and I would still hear you.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why like that just set the bar for me, where I said this on a video recently where I was like, if I'm listening to extreme music, I want it to feel extreme.
Yeah.
You know?
And they did. Like that Mitch did. Like
Yeah.
that I mean, like generally heralded as the GOAT, right? Like
Yeah.
amazing singer, but like dude, there are plenty of other guys from that era that were just as good and like also stayed true to this thing. Like I mean, dude, you could bring up Whitechapel, like
Yeah.
my GOAT. But like dude, like there was I think it was from a tour they did last year or something. And Phil is backstage. He's got his in-ears in and he's got his mic and he did the exact same thing. Just let a couple fly, just kind of like get a feel for where he is for the day. But all you're getting is just camera audio. And I was like, bro, this motherfucker's loud. Like this like he does this shit. And I mean, he's another guy. I'm like, I would pick him out in any setting. If I hear his voice kind of thing. And you just don't get that unless you do it this way.
Yeah, 100%.
And it unfortunately I say that and I set this hard rule, but I won't pretend I won't pretend like it's not hard. And it's not hard on the individual. But I'm like, I don't know, you keep doing it and you keep going for it and you eventually figure out what works and what becomes your thing. And those two guys in particular, man, they had their own thing.
100%. Yeah, I still go back and watch old videos of Mitch just to like get that sensation again of like, man, I remember being like, this dude is a monster.
Yeah.
You know? And if I'm listening to deathcore music, I want them to feel like a monster, you know?
Yeah. That's what I want. I want them to feel like they embody the thing. And there are a lot of really fucking good bands that do that. And there's a lot of good bands that don't do that. Right.
Yeah.
But I want the thing that I want.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Well, I love to hear it. That gives me, gives me some comfort knowing there's other people out there that catch on to the whisper vocal thing. And yeah, I've seen it, having been around this 20 plus years, I've seen it kind of rise in popularity. And I'm like, fuck, man, I just want to hear you actually scream. And I get it. It's hard, but like I said, I want it to feel as extreme as it is.
It's hard, but just get good.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like just get good. Like put in the work, figure the thing out. Because like I think what you can get at the end is something just that can't be traded.
Yeah.
And like that, and for me that makes bands. So that can make or break a band for me. So that's my stance. Cut
Love
that
it.
shit out. Stop whispering. Like you're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be aggressive, angry, violent, whatever.
Yeah,
Be that.
absolutely.
Stop being scared.
I'm here for it. 100% agree. Well, Mike, hate to wrap this up. I would love to chop it up all day, but like I said, got to get back to reality. But is there any last shout outs? Anyone you want to shout out before you go?
Our record comes out July 25th. We'll be on tour. We're going to do a bunch of touring going forward.
Fuck yeah.
All the bands that we're touring with are amazing. They're doing amazing things, and they're doing it in their own way and in their own lane. And I think they're all awesome. And that's where we want to be and will be.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you see this band going on tour anytime soon, just know I fuck with them, and you should really go in on those bands because they're doing something tangible and they're doing something good. What else?
Real quick, we got to shout out. You got the best bedroom drummer on this fucking planet.
Shout out Leo.
Dude, he is the blast beat advocate himself. Absolute savage. Love every video I see pop up from him.
He's great. He's great. He's hardly a person. That is a bizarre guy. That is a bizarre guy.
I get that vibe and I love it.
But he's awesome. He's a great drummer. And yeah. I feel like I had one I wanted to shout out, but I think I'm gonna have to do it a disservice.
All good. Well, man. Well,
shout out Fortnite.
Fuck yeah. Shout out PS5 over PCs.
Dude. I'm saying
Yep.
console till the day I die.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all I got.
Cool, man. Well, it's been a pleasure, and we'll talk soon, man.
Of course. Thank you so much.